Alrighty. Hello, everyone. My name is Tyler, and I'm the co-VP of events here at LCS. And thank you guys for attending the Notion 101 workshop. And we just want to say a big thank you to everyone for tuning in, especially before reading week starts. So thank you for coming out. And then we'll move on to the next slide. Now, before we begin, please sign in for this event to be added to your Laurier experience record. And this will count as one of the 2 required events to be added as a member of LCS. And we're going to leave this up for a few more seconds before we begin. All right, now I'll pass it on to Jacob.
All right, hey everybody, thanks so much for coming out today. My name's Jacob. I'm a 4th year computer science student at Laurier, and I'm the co-VP of development and technology at LCS. I wanted to take a couple minutes today to tell you guys about some of the initiatives that our dev team is running this semester. So first up, we have our Mentee applications closing today for Project Program. For those of you who don't know, Project Program is a month-long event run by LCS, UW Data Science Club, and UW Computer Science Club, where teams of 2 to 4 students can apply to develop a coding project with the help of a student mentor. In that time, we've run workshops similar to this one to improve your technical and organizational skills. We host drop-in office hours for you to come in and get help with bug fixing or feature implementation. And at the end of the month, you have the opportunity to present your project to a panel of judges for the chance to win a cash prize. For students with more coding experience, you have the option to apply to be a mentor instead, meaning you'll be paired up with 1 or 2 of the participating teams to help them with their project. For more information, you can check the LCS Discord, I believe is posted in the important channel. On top of Project Program, this term we're also offering the Pods program. So Pods is an opportunity for students to get real-world open source dev experience while working with a team of other students that are at a similar skill level. Applications are open now until October 21st, and we encourage students at all skill levels to apply. Should your application be accepted, you'll be put into a team of 2 to 4 other students and provided with a highly skilled project manager. Teams are given 3 months to brainstorm, design, and develop their project with the help of their manager. Pods tries to mimic the real-world working environment, so we manage our project using GitHub for revision control, GitHub issues, and Notion, and we also try to implement the software development lifecycle. Finally, we're offering review sessions for CP 103 and 104 on Twitch. The next one coming up is on Twitch, and then we also have the midterm review session, which is in person. So yeah, that's the next one coming up is on functions and decisions, and of course the midterm review will cover everything on the midterm, so that's a great one to show up to. So yeah, that was a lot of information. If you didn't catch it all, make sure to check the LCS Discord to stay up to date, or of course you can rewatch the video of this event and you can re-listen to all of this. So I'll pass it back on to Yana. Thanks, guys.
Great, thanks, Jacob. So yeah, as Jacob mentioned, we have the midterm review sessions that'll be in person and online. So you can come out, hang out with friends, ask any questions you have, learn all the content that is coming up for the midterm, and also free food. Promise there'll be a lot of free food this time. And also Co-op 101. So this is in November, our first kind of big event of November. We're going to have around 4 or 5 students who have already been through co-op, whether that's experienced 4th years, people on PEP, 2nd years, people who didn't go through the co-op process, and you can come and ask any questions and learn all about the process, whether you're a 1st year and you want to, learn what you need on your resume, like what clubs you have to join and stuff like that, or you're a 2nd year, you're about to get right into it, or even a 3rd year and you just want some tips on job searching and the application process. And yeah, definitely come out to those and tune in our Discord or Instagram to find out when exactly those are happening. So now we decided to have Notion 101 during Mental Illness Awareness Week, just because although they may not seem really connected, they definitely are. Having a routine and being organized is a really good factor to have, whether you're going through any type of mental illness, even a smidget of it, like anxiety, stress, depression. Having an organized schedule and like your thoughts are organized somewhere is super important, more than you really know. And yeah, thank you guys for coming out to this event. And so the way this will go is we'll have Shakib come in and go through some of the uses of Notion, popular features, tips and tricks, and then we'll go into some demos of templates that the LCS team has actually created. So we created one project management / like hackathon template you can use for either Hawk Hacks or Project Program or pods. And then we'll go through an exam study tracker, whether like you're using it for midterms or exams. And those are all from the LCS team. So we'll send them out after and show you a demo now. And then 3 of us are going to go through our Notion and give you guys sort of like a Notion tour. And that'll wrap up the event. Now I'll pass it over to Shakib.
Hey everyone, so my name is Shakib, and I'm one of the event coordinators at LCS, and I'll be introducing Notion to you guys today. So to kick off, I'll start off with the general uses of Notion. Notion is basically an all-in-one workspace designed to keep all your notes, projects, anything else you could ever need to organize, while keeping it all in one clean area. One of the main uses of Notion is to track your goals. It's very easy to customize how exactly you want to do this. You can essentially create a list of goals and view it any way you want, whether that be in the form of a to-do list where you just check off tasks to meet an ultimate goal, or you want maybe a more zoomed out approach, maybe with a calendar view, something with time as a respective variable, like a Gantt chart, or even just a table view highlighting things that are important, unimportant, upcoming. Honestly, your creativity is the only limit here. So I know everyone has their own way of organizing tasks, and Notion accounts for every single one of them. I obviously can't forget reminders as well. Like, there's no good with a nicely structured goal and to-do list if you just forget how to follow it, especially if you have notifications from all over the place, from Google, Microsoft, Apple, GitHub, what have you. So there's honestly so much more you can do, but I don't want to spend the entire night talking about just the general features, and Notion themselves have an awesome Get Started page with commentated tutorials on how to use a lot of their features. You'll also get to see a lot of them in our demonstrations later tonight. So moving on to the popular features. As I mentioned earlier, Notion is super customizable. When you make a page for, let's say, a design page for a project, the personalization goes crazy. You can insert images, videos, emojis, and even a lot of implementations from other resources like Google Maps. If you're taking notes on the fly, and there's something that you've drawn that you want to put in, like a diagram, open up Notion on your phone, take a picture, and put it right in there. Draw something on your iPad, tablet, or touchscreen laptop. That makes this even more seamless. If you need to share all of this with anyone, adding collaborators is so easy, making Notion an amazing resource for teams to put something in one place. This is where things can feel familiar for most of us that have worked with Google Workspace apps like Drive, Docs, Sheets, but with many more features and customizability, especially with custom commands that put a lot more adjustments and commands into the picture. Finally, I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks before we move on to our demonstrations. Honestly, like any new software, things can look a little intimidating at first. That's why Notion, as well as its community, offers a lot of templates for beginners to get started. The choices are literally unlimited, and they host a lot of interesting designs and page concepts, and you just have to pick one that lines up with your preferences. Second, database views, and I honestly think this is one of the most goated features. Database views are essentially different views to look at a collection of data, whether it be galleries of images, links, videos, or blocks of text, literally anything. Let's say when everyone has finished uploading things like into a drop-off page or distributing tasks across a given project, going into database view gives you a whole other perspective of the data. Let's say, for example, in LCS, we had a pretty Dropbox page for people's pictures on our team with like dimensions and everything. It can be viewed as a list associating names with an image link, or in gallery view where you can see everyone's beautiful faces on the team and quickly outline which names are missing an upload because they'll just have a default gallery square in their like upload section. This example probably isn't as practical to you guys, but you can substitute out our pictures for any other materials like images of a physical project in different phases, tasks that are in progress or finished, or even something that isn't necessarily academic, like tables of data entries for your mindful minutes throughout the year, weight, steps, calories, anything you could possibly log. Finally, you can link them all together, have pages inside pages, make custom clickable links, and have custom tags on certain pages to make everything all pretty and organized and have the navigation of your workspace super smooth. So that's basically all I have for you in terms of introducing Notion. Hopefully that wasn't too much information at once, but if anything's confusing right now, I'll pass it on so we can get some more demonstrations going. And you can get to see the Notion workspaces of some of our team members as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Shakib, for that rundown. As he said, this information is really overwhelming, and like Notion as a tool is honestly overwhelming when you first download it. because there's just so much you can do with it and you might not know where to start. So LCS decided to create 2 templates that you guys can kind of start off with and use as like the building blocks and maybe dip your toes into Notion. So I'm going to show you guys the first one, and share my screen. Okay, so this first one here is our exam study tracker. And this is basically created for any midterms or exams, just like the way you can like lay out all your information, you know, put the info about the midterm here or exam, where the class is, the time, the date, anything like that. Then you go down here, and the way I kind of like to lay it out is just like everything from the entire course. So as you can see, there's 12 topics, 12 weeks. The great thing about Notion that Shakib also mentioned is you can just make a page inside of a page. So let's say your topic 3 here is, I don't know, linked lists. You change the title, and then you can put in your points and kind of make this like a small study sheet sort of thing, or like maybe some important key facts you don't want to forget, like examples and stuff like that. Then you can also say, okay, when am I going to study this? Is there any readings associated? And as I said, this is totally customizable. If you're in a class that doesn't have readings, you can just delete this column in total by deleting the property. And then what I like to do is if there's practice problems, you know, you make a column here, practice problems, if you've completed them. Another great thing about Notion is just these simple commands. You can strike it through. You finish question 1 and 2, but not 3. And if there's any assignments, quizzes you have to review. And one really cool thing about Notion is you can track the status. So this is a property in itself. You can say, you know, is it started, in progress, or done? And this is a super cool way to just plan out your midterm and make sure that you are on track of things and you're not falling behind. And yeah, so this will all be sent out after the event. But now I'm just going to go quickly into my own personal Notion. So I think out of all the Notions here, mine's probably the most basic. So please don't make fun of me. I like to keep things basic because, like I said, it is an overwhelming tool. So once I get good enough, I'll, you know, spice it up. But my favorite page, probably one I use the most, is the school to-do page. So basically just all my assignments are in here. They're grouped by class, so you can put a category in, you know, these are all my classes, LCS stuff, I'm a marketing assistant. And then, like Shakib also said, there's this thing called like databases, and you can view them in different ways, which is super powerful. So right now I'm viewing it as a board, so you know I can drag them into here when I'm done with them. I just finished this assignment today, so I move it over into complete, and it feels so satisfying. And you can also view things in table view just to give yourself like a really cool layout of like everything. So I like to do this at the beginning of the year, like when I get my syllabi, and also put it into calendar view so you can see exactly when everything is due, which is also really sick. This is basically like Google Calendar, but you know, everything's in here. One thing I also like doing is, like Shakib also mentioned, pages within pages. So if you're working on an assignment and you don't want to have to make a whole new Google Doc page for it, what I like to do is just add in like any notes I have about the assignment in here, like possible articles. You can put PDFs that link to like the assignment outline, which is really nice. And yeah, one other page I'll show you is one that I used last year. So it's in my archive pages. But this is my co-op tracker. So I basically tracked every single application I did because, as you know, in co-op, you have to do a lot. So this really helped me stay on top of my stuff. And like I put all the due dates here. So I knew when exactly I had to get a certain application done. I, you know, have status. So if I applied to it, if I got rejected, which is most of them, in an interview, or if I accepted the offer. And then job title on Navigator, there's job IDs, and you have to like label everything after that. So I like to keep track of those. And if it requires a cover letter, resume, transcript, if I finished those, you know, Scotiabank does like Plum stuff, so I put that in there. and just any other notes. This really helped me not get overwhelmed. Oh, I still did get overwhelmed with co-op, but this helped a lot just to keep my thoughts organized. And yeah, if you guys see any page from like any of the LCS members who are presenting their own Notion and you'd like think, oh, that would be such a good template if I could just get like the bare bones of that page, we could definitely try to make that another template to send to you guys. And yeah, so I like to organize, my personal life, my school and life. I have like a budget in here, personal to-do list, random stuff. And in university, I have like classes. This is just a really nice way to organize everything in your life. So you have everything in one central spot. For each class, I have like a filtered version of my to-do list. So based on that course, so this one would be 386. And yeah, so that's my Notion. And I'm going to pass it over to Nosher now. So he is our co-president, and he's going to be showing you guys the second template that we have. And he's going to be doing a Notion tour of the LCS Notion.
Alrighty, let me just get fixed up over here. Cool. I think I'm coming through okay. So yeah, as Diana already introduced myself, my name is Nosher, and obviously I'm sure a few people are probably interested in maybe doing hackathons in the future or stuff like that. It doesn't even have to be a hackathon. This can be like a project thing. But oh, some people are saying I'm a little bit quiet, so I'm gonna quickly try fixing that. Oh no, I can't do much. All right, cool. But essentially, a lot of people in the future might be interested in doing a hackathon or like a project, and a good way to plan out like what you want to do, even if you're like a person who doesn't really like planning stuff out. Personally, I hate planning stuff usually, like other than unless I'm working with other people. For my personal stuff, I'm really, really all over the place, which is why I'm not even showing off my personal Notion today. But this is still like a great way to like scribble down some stuff, even if you don't follow it to a T. Like it's a great way to just organize your thoughts. So again, if you're going to a hackathon for the first time with some people, maybe you want to plan out the stuff you'll be attending. Like maybe you'll only be attending one workshop. You want to plan out the rough like general idea of like what stuff's happening when that you want to attend, right? Maybe you don't want to go to all the workshops. Maybe you only want to go to workshop one, right? So you can throw that down in your little calendar. You can use the timeline feature too to like look at stuff a bit more nicely, I guess you could say. You can like zoom in and out, and it's really cool. You can also color code these too. I don't remember how to do that yet, but I think you can color code them too, which is really cool. And then there's also the calendar view if you want to look at it this way. But yeah, there's different like ways of viewing the same data as like Shakib said too earlier. But it's a cool feature. You can have a little track how much of your project you've completed. And I know every single time that percentage sign goes up, your dopamine, you get hit with some dopamine. So it's always nice to have that displayed. Maybe you want to have a little section here where you want to link to your like Figma design, where you're going to have your website. You maybe have a little document that has your project overview. Maybe you want to, for the dev post submission, you want to answer some questions on like your submission. Maybe you want to have those answers written out beforehand, maybe just in case, you're rushing at the end with some code, stuff like that. So you can have your like, your project overview over here too. Maybe you want to have a link to your presentation, which is going to be on like Google Sheets or something. You want to have a link to your GitHub repo, just so everyone is in the same place. People aren't messaging each other for like, where's the link to the GitHub? Where's the link to the Figma? It's all just in one place. Maybe you want to have like, I like to do this a lot for a lot of my projects and just things in general, is just scribble random shit down, because I constantly think of random stuff all the time. So I like to just scribble it down, and maybe someone in the future can pick it up if they think it's, maybe you have more time or something. Just scribble down random thoughts you get throughout rather than like spitting random thoughts out to your like other people who are working on stuff. Just write them down. Maybe someone will look at them later and pick something up. So, and then last but not least, which in my opinion is like the most powerful thing, is probably the Kanban boards. If you've ever worked on any software project or even like a non-software role, Kanban boards are usually pretty common, right? And they're pretty easy to like visualize the percentage of work that needs to be done, the percentage of work that's being done, stuff like that. So maybe you want to assign some tasks to different people, right? Maybe you have someone who's really good at UI. You want to allocate them some UI tasks, and you want to make sure you don't forget them. So, you can throw them in a little Kanban board. You can, like, these numbers represent like, importance of stuff. Maybe some things aren't as important, like maybe having a fancy background in your app, right? So you can make it a lower thing, and you can have different views up here that like would sort stuff by importance, for example. So yeah, you can have a little task management tracking, I guess, for your hackathon. And yeah, I know most of the time hackathons are really chaotic. Like most of the time I don't do this stuff either, but like I started to use Notion a bit during my hackathons too, and it's been quite useful. So it's a good, effective way, I think, to organize a hackathon project or any sort of project. Speaking of projects and like organizing non-hackathon related things, I thought it'd be a good idea to also show off bits and pieces of the LCS Notion, right? The thing that kind of makes the entire club work. Without this Notion, we'd kind of be kind of not exist, I think, to the same capacity we are now. I can show off some things here. I'm not allowed to show off everything, obviously, like their accounts, but we have like a very easy to like, so obviously if you're managing a team of big people, you want to make sure that it's easy to get information that people need. Not everyone's looking for the same information. Most people are going to be working in different teams and different departments, so most of them are not going to be looking at the same piece of info. So grouping all like the things that are common to everyone at the top, making them really easy to click on, clicking on like meetings. Oh, there you go, there's all the meetings in the club. Oh, maybe click on department meetings. Oh, everything's there, like making it very easy to use. And also using emojis is effective. I low-key used to hate emojis back in the day. I was like, these are kind of stupid. But now I use emojis in everything, including my calendar. It just makes looking at stuff quicker. Like you don't have to always read the text to know what's happening. But yeah, having all the important stuff up here, having a link to, you can also have like links to different tools up here, which is useful. And then also having like stuff like this, having each like department giving them their own section. And a lot of these like sections are completely custom. Like we don't like, every VP has their own section and how they do stuff. So we don't interfere with that. So like, comms has this for all their stuff, for example. And like events has, we have this event picture thing, and we have this other stuff, and we have links to different things. It's all very nicely, easy to access. Everything you can kind of just figure out what's happening just by clicking on something and reading the title of it. Right. This is the outreach stuff's low-key slaps, by the way. Like whoever, yeah, it's really nice. I like the outreach stuff. But yeah, that's kind of like how we organize LCS. We also have stuff like, for example, the hiring document, which some of you might have seen, right? We have that as a web page in here. So you don't have to use Notion to organize stuff. You can also use it as a web page if you want to make a website and you don't want to code, which understandable. You can always just make your website in Notion, and there's tools out there that you can also deploy your website with too with Notion. So yeah, I guess that's kind of the gist of organizing teams, organizing projects. I think next up is Jackie with more of the personal, like the personal side. I'm not good at, so that's where Jackie comes in. But yeah.
Hello. Okay, so this is my Notion right here. I really only used it for school. Wait, sorry, I'm Jackie. You might know me as the VP of Comms here at LCS. I'm third year in comms sci, and I'm going to show you my personal Notion. I use it for school only. Have my schedule here, and I organize all of my due dates in databases. I think Notion is really good for. Oh, uh,
Yeah, the stream is a bit messed up. Maybe like we'll get it fixed and then you can continue.
this one?
Not yours. Yours is fine.
Okay.
Okay, it's back. It's back. Go ahead.
All right, so this is my personal Notion. Again, here's my schedule here, and I have a database for my school deadlines for assignments and some labs, midterms, finals. Databases are really good on Notion. You can sort according to upcoming due dates, and then I like to filter it with this column here, which is like done. If you check it off, it'll just disappear, so you don't really have to see or scroll. There's nothing really much more to it, so I decided that I could show you guys, like, kind of walk you through how you can sort of make your Notion a bit more pleasing. So let's make a new page together, name it Notion 101, and then I can show you guys how to do my schedule. So do H3 for heading 3. I'll do like schedule, and then what you want to do, which I didn't find out until very recently, is you can make Notion separate the page for you, and because otherwise the it's like really wonky, honestly. But so let's do header column, which makes everything bolded for you, and then let's write 8 a.m. like. Sorry, before that, let's copy and paste that into all the other columns, and then basically you can just put like your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday there for you. And then what you also want to do if you want to have my banner thing, I used to go on Pinterest and then I would just search like Studio Ghibli GIF. Sorry, it's actually called GIF. And like let's use like this one. You actually have to do copy image address instead of just why the street closed. What's happening?
I think you might have to reshare screen. You're back.
Sorry about that. So yeah, so you want to go to Pinterest. I'll search up Studio Ghibli GIF, and then copy image address. And you go over here, you add cover. And then you do change cover and come up, link, you just paste it here. And then unfortunately you can't crop it yourself. Notion will do that for you automatically, but you wait a second and it'll pop up there. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So I'll hand it back to Yana.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jackie. That was like beautiful demo, and hopefully people can try it at home. So we're just gonna wrap up now. That concludes all of like the LCS team's Notion tours. And thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions, type them in the chat. Like, if any Notion page striked your interest, we could find a way to send you guys that in the package. If not, we could put it to this slide. If you guys aren't in the Discord yet, I don't even know how you found this event, so hopefully you are in the Discord. And yeah, all of our events are posted to YouTube. So if you really like Jackie's demo and you kind of missed it, you can go back and do like a in-depth look at it, how to create the columns and everything. Thank you to all the LCS members who showed their Notion. But yeah, we'll stick around for a little longer if you guys have any questions. I'll send the sign-in link one more time. And tune in on our socials and Discord. Project program closes tonight. Get your applications in. Pods applications are ending soon. Would love a follow-up event with a deep dive into databases. Whoa. Yeah, databases are really confusing me a while to get them. What we could do, I don't know if we could do a whole other event, but in our email, we can send out a really good video that covers them, because Notion like has really good resources for that stuff. Okay, I think we're gonna call it here and end the stream. Thanks to everyone for coming and signing in. Make sure you sign in. That like is counted for everything. And thanks for coming. And I hope you guys have a good reading week for anyone at Laurier. And thank you to the events team for all their hard work. See you at our next event.